Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the every other month update to the best 7 stars 2 rank. We're heading into September here. I am going to have Mr. Sinister on this sheet, but we're obviously not going to do the 2 new champions for September. I haven't had a chance to test them out yet, and we will not do the 2 new champions for October, which is another great reason to tune in every single month for the monthly update. You'll be able to see them fully rated by myself, the MCoC Illuminati. I mean, it's really cool for me to even have like the live game lead, none other than Kabam Crash, come on and talk about how great this tier list is.
Yeah, I use the sheet. Your tier list is the one that I use internally, and then I give to other designers when they ask me for a tier list.
Let's go ahead and jump into this with one last little bit of information for everyone here. This is the general tier list. We've got it thanks to the spreadsheet wizards. We have it 7-star only, so only the 7-star available champions will show up, kind of making it that much more easy to utilize. And then always make sure you rank up the champion that you know how to play, that you actually enjoy, right? We don't waste space here on champions that we just don't think at all are worthy of ranking up in any scenario unless you just want to do it. But if you rank up someone you enjoy, you're going to know how to use them. And then when the content, the defender gets tough, you're going to get much better results than if you had ranked up someone else who's higher on this. We've been saying this for many, many years now, and I'm really happy to see how much it's caught on across the MCoC, right? And the advice giving and stuff. It leads to a lot more summoners very, very happy with their rank ups. All right, let's go ahead and do this now. And oh, one last thing. I always remember one last thing. When you go to make your own copy of this tier list, make sure you hit copy so you can come up with your own copy and you can check the boxes here, right? Like, let's say you're just not interested in Alliance War. Boom, you get rid of Alliance War. You're not interested in Battlegrounds, you get rid of that too, and you're good to go. You can configure this to how you're feeling. And like I said, we update this every single month. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit that alert bell so you never miss an update. Okay, we're going to talk about like 1 or 2 champions in every little scenario here, right? Because you can obviously see this, but we're going to talk about this truly from the formatting of the best 7 stars to rank up. For me, it is still heads above the rest. America Chavez. Now, Kushala and Juggernaut are phenomenal. Do not get me wrong, but you're even hearing like your highest level Battlegrounds players start talking about Juggernaut. Not that he's not dominant, just that it is easy for Kabam or defenders to cross him off, right? As soon as he gets that debuff, he's basically neutralized. I do think Kushala is phenomenal, and she's got those dual immunities, which really help out. Like I showed you on the How to Fight Serpent video, I was using Kushala on a hazard shift lane. She does phenomenally. Well, America Chavez is also my favorite counter. I think she's by far the best counter, default counter to Serpent. I actually consider her a hard counter in today's game. Our game's so big and complex, rarely is someone just going to shut down a defender, especially of that nature, right? He's big, he's bad, he's brutal in all cases. So moving on to the Scorching tier, I think the ones I really want to call out are Werewolf by Night. This is a phenomenal dual threat champion. I think a better attacker than defender, right? So if Battlegrounds is your thing, though, you can consider him a bit of a dual threat. And then he's just going to help you get around so much. Like I was even asked if he could take hazard shift lanes, and his power gain is powerful enough. And if you play him smartly and patiently enough, he's going to do it for you. He's absolutely phenomenal. And then the other one, I do want to call it, and I'll be quick with these, is White Tiger and Sasquatch. Sasquatch is probably the best true just dual threat, like just a huge health pool, still a good defender in most metas. And if he crits, he really can do great things off of his SB2. And remember, once you're in Wrath, you can kind of push your opponent to the red, and he'll handle that for you. And then the other one is White Tiger, who's, I mean, she's a great Serpent counter. Like if you're at that place where you're really looking for like very specific counters and things like that, she's absolutely phenomenal. She's an absolute blast to play. And I'll just quickly mention a champion in each of the next 2 categories. I do like Destroyer. I do like Dragon Man very, very much. Some of like my personal favorites to play. The one I'm going to point out is Wong. If you still have Necropolis to do, I would highly consider taking your Wong to rank 2. I had an absolute blast playing Wong and Necropolis. If you're not sure how to play Wong, check out Normax's channel. I watched a couple of his videos, went into Necropolis, and had it was literally fun. It was truly fun. It's clearly where Wong is meant to shine. Just a tremendous shine. So make sure you check out Normax's channel for that. And then in the hot tier, I want to call out, remember, we don't rank champions that we just don't think are worth ranking. They take up space on the sheet. If you're good enough at the game where you want to rank up someone that's on the sheet, go for it, have fun. This is what it's designed to do, a game, so that is. But when we're giving rank up advice, we're just not going to waste that space. You can have a great time with Symbiote Supreme, obviously, right? A pretty good Serpent counter. I think Mojo is a phenomenal champion, a real personal favorite of mine. He's just not flourishing as the metas continue to develop like I had hoped he would. And then Ebony Maw is really, really good. I mean, every single champion there, I think, definitely has uses. Mordo, even with the ability action increase, just here's where we have them ranked across a variety of sets, general use, battlegrounds, and alliance war. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Mutant. To me, again, just heads and above the rest is Onslaught. Yes, he is not super fast in his non-targeted matchups offensively. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you he's not. He gets a little bit harder to play, but he can get it down. And there's just so many nodes he gets around, right? Where like you knock them down and they become like debuff immune or whatever. I think it's called like right back at it. There's just so much stuff there. Can be taken on different hazard shift nodes depending on what they are. Counters a lot of the skill threats, not cleanse, but the debuff shrugging and that sort of thing. And then of course, just a monster defender. Even if people know how to use him or know how to fight him, he still make mistakes. I made a mistake today on stream, and also his specials take so long, it's even taking time. And then if you're not interested in Battlegrounds, all the offensive stuff I just said, he's absolutely phenomenal. Great in long form, good in short form. I really do love Onslaught. Moving on to the other tier, we've included Mr. Sinister, who, as we're producing this, or producing, very official over here, as I'm making this video, is not available as a 7-star, but we know he's coming, and I know I'm going to be updating this video every 2 months. So some people might even be getting him. He is someone I am extremely excited. I'm even going to be considering how and if I can get him awakened. I will definitely be taking mine to rank 3. A lot of you were like, hey, no, he's great, he's great, he's great. And I was like, I'm not going to rank up my 6. I hope he comes as a 7. I didn't want to put Catalyst into my 6 stars. It's just how I was playing. But a lot of people had a lot of success with him. He's a very good counter for Bullseye, incredibly powerful in war and various questing, especially in questing, because you don't have to deal with, not despair, inequity node from a PvP use. Great champion, great synergies. I love Mr. Sinister. As he comes out as a 7-star, I don't think we're going to see with him in Tier of Evolve, but we just might, and he's definitely not moving down anytime soon. And then the other one I want to call out as being just very like unique is Bishop. I know Bishop's not the most exciting champion to rank up, but again, really can handle energy damage for you. Has that really nice punishment of defenders that are shrugging. His stun debuff, I believe it is, right? Really great sources of energy damage off the SP1. Then of course, especially if it crits, and that's why the 7-star I really like so much. You can add the crit, stat focus, and things like that off the special too. Bishop is not someone that most people are excited about, but I do want to give respect and show he's right there. He's very, very good. Moving on to the next tier, champions that I just particularly enjoy playing. Once we get to these tiers, I'm going to kind of Professor X. I think if you've got him awakened, I really do think the awakened ability helps make playing him so much easier, getting his ramp going. So there. And then Storm. I really do like Storm. A lot of people do like Storm, but as a 7-star, you can get the crit, stat focus, and she handles a lot of those shrugging defensive abilities too. And then we do have her with the Everest emoji there, signifying she can be a long form monster, right? So keep that in mind. And then moving on to the other side, the one champion I'm going to call out here in the hot tier is Magneto House of X. I'm almost certain that when we do the full monthly update in September, because I'm filming this at the very beginning of the month before I've had a chance to test new champions, I think he's going to move up 1 tier. I think he is. What we're seeing out of 7-star rank 3s, even unawakened, is very, very impressive. It's just so hard to completely estimate how powerful these champions are going to come out when they're 7-stars, because the 7-star stats of just by virtue of being a 7-star are so incredibly strong. Only reason he was falling down was just that a lot of other champions, not a lot, but other powerful champions in the mutant class were coming out with some of that passive stun or shrug punishment abilities that he had, and he was starting to have trouble punching up against the 7-stars. Well, now he's a 7-star. We're seeing evidence of him being incredibly, incredibly powerful. Let's move on to Science. Science looks different than the rest, and the reason is because so many of the powerful Science champions are also available as 7-stars. I think it's part of why, Science is very strong. I'm not saying they're not, but I think that's part of why they seem so prominently strong in our minds as we play every day. We watch YouTube, we do Battlegrounds, is a lot of their most powerful champions are out as 7-stars, which is unusual. Like when you get to Cosmic, you're going to see how stark that difference is. You cannot go wrong with Titania, Hulk, Silk, or Photon. For me, I did the video that I think Photon is the perfect champion. I want to be abundantly clear. I do not think she is the best champion. In fact, I think she's a good, maybe slight knock off down from that. Titania, the irony is I'm actually still learning various ways to play Titania after doing phenomenal, outrageous things with her for a very, very long time. Hulk with the stun lock. I think we've got it there. We can move on to the next one is Luke Cage. I've been doing everything I can to promote Luke Cage, talk about Luke Cage, get you, the viewers, aware of Luke Cage, showing him against Serpent. Yes, Serpent. Phenomenal Serpent counter. Showed that on stream today. I did the Luke Cage spicy meter video showing that off as well too, just how to play him, all that. And then I am working on the Luke Cage rank 3 showcase, and all of this is without him being awakened. I think he is insanely valuable. The only reason he's not in the tier above all yet is like we're just kind of recently discovering this. One of the Illuminati member, Jaeger, has been shouting this out for quite a long time, but I'm just now kind of wrapping my head around it, that Luke Cage is truly phenomenal. I've taken mine to rank 3, and so now I'm experiencing it for myself. Make sure you check out some Luke Cage videos if you're a little unsure what I'm talking about. The other one I'm going to just point out here, because I think some people might be a little surprised, like Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk, everyone says he's terrible. Everyone says he's really, really bad. Well, if your sole focus is playing Celestial level Battleground, he's not great, best I can tell. He's not going to help you really just split those tiny hairs that will, over the course of playing hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, like hundreds and hundreds of hours of Battlegrounds over the course of a month, he's probably not going to help you try to overcome the slight RNG that you're doing over the course of those hours. Not as well as the other champions that are listed above him. But if you aren't as concerned about playing Celestial and playing hundreds of hours of Battlegrounds in a month, he's fantastic. Eris has been putting out tremendous videos on Twitter. I'm trying to convince her to do a full video on her channel. Spider-Punk is great. Allison Edits has been showing that. And then I even showed it my Vega Prime account. Trust me on this one. Spider-Punk will help you control power and will start damaging the opponent while they're throwing their specials. You do want Spider-Punk at a good SIG level, though, so keep that in mind. Don't do this unawakened. Make sure you watch the videos and play Spider-Punk quite a bit. And then moving on, one champion I want to call out, and I'm going to talk about Cap Infinity War and the best 6 stars to rank and ascent video, too. If you can get him to a high SIG, I think he's worth it. I think we're going to probably see him potentially move back up, at least higher in his tier, but into Scorching. If we start seeing high SIG rank 3 Captain America Infinity Wars, I know some really smart players are considering taking theirs to rank 3 for tier 1 war and that sort of thing. The awakened ability is such a big deal, and it's the skill synergy that triggers the signature ability that I think you really want that at like SIG 200, right? You need to know that it's going to happen for using that. But the rest of it, he's just really, really darn good. So keep that in mind. Phenomenal synergies, things like that. If you're interested in Captain Infinity War, you got him awakened. I think he's someone that you might, for your own personal uses, consider him slightly more valuable than we have him listed on the sheet. Morbius, if you love a nuke and if you enjoy Battlegrounds, and your Morbius is awakened, I think this is someone you might want to consider ranking up. I really love mine. Once I get him awakened, science is so strong, and I happen to be very fortunate in having the really powerful science champions. But if I can get mine awakened, I'd be very excited about taking him to rank 3 at some point. And then moving into the hot tier, the one I'm just going to call it really quick, Spider-Man Classic. I've taken mine to rank 2. I'm actually really enjoying him. Enchantress does not seem to be turning out to be quite as powerful a defender as it looks like Kabam had intended for her. We'll see, though, as we get into war. I think we might see some more players getting very, very frustrated with her. Spider-Man Classic has that Debilitate, which will help you out significantly if you can't just get all her spells down. And he is a really, really fun champion. SP2 can hit incredibly, incredibly hard. So I really do like Spider-Man Classic. Took my own to rank 2. Let's quickly talk about the tech class. As far as the 7 stars are concerned, I really think Shuri sits alone. I know she's not the most exciting champion. Like, I love big red numbers. I love big white numbers with Shocker, things like that. And I, of course, love big yellow numbers. And I realize and I recognize that's not Shuri. I get it. And so I think it's really easy for us to start to kind of forget how phenomenal she is. If you've done Necropolis, you know how, like, the Kate Bishop, Shuri, America Chavez team was just amazing. Even on my Wong run, I believe, brought at least Shuri for a few fights. I just liked her so much. She is a very strong counter to champions like Atuma. I was so happy with my Shuri video showing off like her non-contact attacks. There's just stuff she can get around. She's phenomenal for Domino because I think it's none of Shuri's specials can be evaded, and I think that's just against all classes. I might be mutant specific, so check that out. Block unblockable attacks, which I think is again unblockable specials, which again I think is not class restricted. She is excellent, and I know some people will be like, well, you know, she's not as good against Shock Immune champions, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. What I will tell you is I stopped thinking that way about the game years ago. You know, there was a long time playing it where like we wanted a champion to do everything, and any sort of thing like that was kind of a knock against them. This game is so big, so complex. That's why I said I think American Challenge is a hard counter to Serpent, because in today's game, they're just if the defender of the node set is a struggle, there's never going to be a champion that can handle them across all node sets and things like that. I just can't imagine. If you can think of one, you let me know, and we'll talk about it. Under the next tier, Shocker. I still find Shocker to be a phenomenal champion. Really great in my Battlegrounds deck. Really great in questing. I just love Shocker. If you're not familiar with Shocker, and you can get your Shocker to a decent sig. I have mine at sig 88. I'm not going to put any other sig stones into him, but that has been phenomenal and helping me get to my SP2 super quick, even with a single SP1 thrown. And then the other one I want to shout out here, that I do like a lot of these champions a lot. The other one I want to shout out quickly here is Spider-Man Stark. Continues to rise, in my opinion. Much of that is Battleground use, but I'm seeing 7-star rank 3s do tremendous things in questing. It's just different. I remember the first time I ever played him when he first came into the game, and even me with my limited knowledge on the game at that time, I was like, this champ's different. He alone is the only thing that makes me even consider doing those CCP challenges. I still have not done them. They seem pretty brutal. I think they were designed to be brutal. And but he alone might get me to do it one day. On the other one I'm going to call out quickly is Ultron. If you have a 7-star Ultron, you've got, I think, the most rare champion in the game. And this is a phenomenal champion. I think when we start seeing 7-star rank 3s, probably going to end up pushing right back into Scorching, but we want to see it first. He got his buff, and I think we started to really see how great he was as that transition to 7s first started happening. I think they're not like perfectly lined up, but I don't think Ultron with the buff, with a high sig, ever really got a chance to shine. I remember thinking about it in War and things like that. And then we moved on to rank 5, 6 stars and ranking our 7 stars. I really think it's going to be interesting. Should someone pull Ultron, waken him, put some 6 stones in and take him to rank 3, we might see a really, really strong champion. Because I remember when we were testing the 6-star thinking this was a very, very strong Scorching level champion. Then the one champion I will call out in the hot mode is actually Gilly 2099. Again, those are very good champions. Some of my favorites to play there. I really enjoy Rocket Raccoon and things like that. Howard the Duck is obviously phenomenal. In fact, Nagase today put out a Howard the Duck video. Check it out. If you've got a Howard the Duck, you got him Awakened. I believe the Awakened is pretty helpful for dominoes, things like that. I think it's the ability accuracy, if I remember correctly. Fact check me on that one, though. Check out the video by Nagase, rank 3 Howard the Duck. Very impressive. Maybe even needs to be moved up a little bit. Guillotine 2099. I want to call these out because I know a lot of folks who watch this still maybe have some Necropolis to do and things like that. Guillotine 29 wasn't like a main path clearer for me, but there were some fights that she came in and was incredible for. And then remember how great she was for the Spring of Sorrow, the Eternity of Pain, Absorbing Man. I think that really showed off like a champion that we think of like needing to ramp and then finish with an SP3 and all that. If you can play her well, you can get really great results in a really brutal fight. I think she's worth keeping an eye on. I'm not going to take mine to rank 3 anytime soon, but I am very happy I have a rank 2. All right, let's go ahead and move on to skill and cosmic. As I mentioned with the science class, and I was like, science, I think, is powerful. Is insanely powerful. Not trying to take it away from. What I'm saying, though, is I think one of the reasons why they feel so everyday powerful, it's just so present in our minds, is that their most powerful champions are available as 7 stars. Where when you look at the skill and cosmic, that is not the case. That is definitely not the case. Now, skill clearly has a lot of options, though, right? Crossbones, if you can play him well, in my opinion, my alone, the Illuminati disagrees with me, which is why Crossbones is where he is. Crossbones is tier above all. Now, he's a little niche below the others. I'm not going to say he's not like Fury, Kate Bishop, and that sort of thing. But we do things as a group, and I do not feel strongly enough across once to just on my own say like, no, he's tier above all. Ultimately, does it matter? No. And I think if you can get his sig going, he's going to shrug those debuffs for you, get a lot of furies going, turn off ability accuracy, and then he even has the really, really nice utility of the non-crits, which can be extremely helpful. It's actually sometimes asked for. The other one we'll talk about quickly is Shang-Chi. The community loves Shang-Chi, and I think that's great. I think Shang-Chi is a phenomenal, phenomenal champion. If you enjoy running recoil, he can be incredibly recoil friendly. Also, if you really get used to playing Shang-Chi, you're almost unstoppable, which is a great, great thing. Allison Edits has recently done a video showing us how Shang-Chi can open up a lot of openings on fights using the unblockable and the striker. It's very, very impressive. And if you're looking for a well-rounded questing champion, probably usable in battlegrounds as well. No defensive value, but you want just someone well-rounded. You can go in, probably take a lot of the skill, a lot of the things that skill class is asked to do outside of ability accuracy reduction. Shang-Chi's going to help you do. He's even got the cleanse, okay? Just got to learn how to play him well, and you'll be A-okay. Moving into the super hot tier, the ones I'm going to call out here is Atuma, and I'm calling out Atuma specifically because he's unique. Part of why he's up there, and that's why we have the shield emoji there, he's a very good defender. I was saying on stream literally today that, it looks like we're going to probably be getting some rank up resources coming our way. And when we get them in batches, at the time I often like to rank up my defenders from Battleground deck. He's a great defender because very few champions can take him out quickly and with taking 0 damage back. In fact, I can't even think of one. There might be one out there. It's probably Negasonic Teenage Warrior, but there's not a lot of rank 3 7-star Negasonic Teenage Warhead champions running around. And even then, she's not that fast, right? She's got a ton of utility. She's fast enough for questing, don't get me wrong. But again, the super, super high scores that people are often wanting in Battlegrounds don't seem to be her forte. I think Atuma is great there. But also, Atuma can be used in long form, can be really, really, really effective in long form content. Remember, he's got the true accuracy, I believe, off his SP1. Check that out. I always forget what it is. But he can get that and just basically keep it up the whole fight. So he can turn off a lot of things. He's an effective offensive champion. And we just don't see him used too much in questing because it does take a little while for him to get going. And then the other one I want to call out there is Elsa Bloodstone. She's fantastic. I think the skill class has just grown around a lot. But remember, she can still struggle those non-damaging debuffs for you. Crit Machine. Campo's done tremendous videos on her. And then the hot tier, I'll quickly just catch out. The Korg is there for defensive use. So if you're not interested in Battlegrounds, do not rank your Korg. I do really like Hawkeye, though. The Vega Prime account really helped me form a strong opinion on Hawkeye. And then moving on to Cosmic, none of them are there, right? The Teddy and Hercules, Gallons, and of course CGR. Warlock, though. I actually enjoy playing Adam Warlock when I'm ready to focus, to really pay attention. I've done an Adam Warlock video. I know not a lot of you have him as 7 stars, and I get that. I think he's eventually going to come to some sort of regular crystal because he is a great champion, and I'm excited for the community to get their hands on him a bit more. If you have him, I highly suggest you check out this playlist. You can see my video, you can see Bitter Steel's video, and in talking to Bitter, he's taking Adam Warlock to even further places. I don't want to spoil any of that, but you want to keep an eye on Bitter's channel for that when you can. And then the other one I'll call is Venom. Venom's fantastic. I do get questions on this, though, so I want to make sure people understand you want to have the Venom relic. Part of why Venom has moved up in prestige, not the in-game prestige, but just like how much we value Venom as a community. Yes, it is due slightly to 7-star in the crit focus. But a lot of it's also due to the Venom Relic. So you're going to want to make sure you have the Venom Relic and get that ranked up, pair them together, and just get amazing, amazing damage numbers, right? Make sure you play them well, and you'll have a good time. Moving on to the super hot tier, the champions I want to call out is Maestro. Maestro is a very good defender. That's a large reason why he's up here as high. But people have done great things with him more. I think it was B. McGee who used him in war quite a few times. And then we talked about that even on stream today, that he's actually a pretty decent future Ant-Man counter, and depending on the Battlegrounds meta, sometimes people actually do use him on attack offensively. He's got a lot of immunities. So if somehow you have Maestro, but your account's not too advanced, which I'm now realizing is probably a relatively worse scenario, but someone may have pushed through Necropolis, right, with Aegon or something like that. and you're looking to get a little more questing done, you want someone who can handle a variety of things for you, especially when it comes to immunities and things, you might want to look at Maestro, because then you can rank him up, and then you can place him on defense too, which is going to be really helpful to you in Battleground. So I like Maestro. I want to make that clear. He's one of those ones where, like, as I look at this tier, who stands out to me as someone I might rank earlier than we even have them rated. And then the other one is Gladiator. I really like Gladiator. I just am struggling to use him in competitive modes. If you can use him in competitive modes, I fully understand why you are the people who comment that he should be one row higher. I totally get it and agree with you. It's just myself and enough people in the Illuminati are like, no, there's a thing, and it can be very, very difficult to use them in competitive modes. Moving into hot, so I'm going to just call it out because I see it, and I think we're probably going to move him up probably in the next month or two. You'll see this happen. Campo just did the video on Venompool. When Venompool came into the game, it was a legitimate debate who was better, Venompool or Venom. Now, I just told you, though, that the 7 stars helped Venom because he can crit more, but also then Relics came out. So I'm not telling you that I think Venompool is going to move up to where Venom now is, but what I am trying to tell you is that's how good Venompool was. The meta has shifted, the game has grown, so he will probably not reach those heights again. But just like every other champion like this I've called out with, like White Magneto and things like that, I think we're going to see him move up. As usual, let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. I hope that this was tremendously helpful to you as you go to rank up your 7 stars. We're going to be getting a lot of resources through sales, 9.1. Kabam is clearly going big on the tier 10-year anniversary. And we'll update this again in November in time for the holiday sales and things like that. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get all the various tier lists, champion reviews, and the live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and of course the VBC. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.